Hi, this is Ken from Ken's Horticultural Services and KelownaGardens.com. Today we're looking at a biological filter for a pond. This pond is recirculating, so the water ends up in the bottom of the pond and it recirculates to the top, and then it comes down a little creek back down to the bottom pond. But part of that water is diverted through what's called a biological filter. What a biological filter is it's just, in this case, it's 3 small plastic ponds that all sit side by side, and the main line for the pond comes by and it bypasses and goes into the pond itself, but there's some side chutes that come in and feed these 3 bins. So these 3 bins are filled with pea gravel, and then they're planted with different species of plants that like to live in water. They're like marginal plants, they're called. So this is a marsh marigold plant here. This is a weed. This is acorus. It's a type of grass that loves to live in the water conditions. There's ligularias and there's all a sort of different types of plants in here, but they're just basically like water plants. Some water irises over here. So what they do is that the water comes into these 3 little ponds. They're approximately about 4 feet by maybe 6 feet long each. There's 3 of them here. And then the water just comes in, trickles through the pea gravel, and it goes through the roots of all these plants. And the roots take all the nitrogen, a lot of the food out of the water. So it's a method of filtration. It's called a biological filter. It's often a necessity on many large ponds. Very, very important to keep the nutrient levels low, to keep the algae under control. So very interesting effect. And then the water just trickles through, comes out, and runs right back into the pond. And that really helps to keep the water clear. And this particular pond has no chemicals ever used in this particular pond. It just survives. A little bit of maintenance needed, but again, you have to try to keep the leaves out of there, and especially mulch. If you get like composted mulch anywhere near it, you got to keep it away from the pond, especially if you get a heavy rainstorm. And that water, the water from the rain washes mulch into your, or even soil, into your pond, you're going to have a massive outbreak of algae. So do everything you can to keep organic matter and stuff away from the pond, and if you can, introduce or create a biological filter to help filter some of that nutrient out of the water. That's it for today. Thanks for tuning in to KelownaGardens.com. Check in regularly for all your gardening tips.